Hello, everyone. Welcome to Science and Spirituality Talks. Today, our guest is Dr. Javier Galvis. Dr. Galvis is a physician, an educator, and international leader in functional medicine across Latin America. He serves as academic director of AMF, which stands for Academia de Medicina Funcional, and he also leads multiple Institute for Functional Medicine aligned programs. Things like, you may have heard these before, AFMCP, and also some of the advanced practice modules. Dr. Galvez is the author of El Médico de tus Sueños, The Medicine of Your Dreams. I love that title. It's a book focused on patient empowerment and root cause medicine. And where he and I know each other is because of his speaking at different congresses. He spoke at the IFM Annual International Congress this year, and he talked about the mitochondria. He got into light. He got into some cutting edge things. So welcome, Javier. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Deanna. Merry Christmas to everyone. Also, you just passed a couple days that.
That's true. Yeah, and we're both doing this with a little bit of hopefully rest and relaxation. So we're in a different frame of mind than we otherwise would be. Well, Javier, the first question I would like to ask you, and I don't know if I know the answer to this myself, so I'm very curious. How did you decide to go into science and become a medical doctor?
Well, that's an interesting story, Deanna, because when I finished high school here in Colombia, you go straight to the university or medical school in that case. But I didn't know I wanted to be a doctor, a physician. So, as with the national test that everyone here takes, I did good score in mechanical reasoning. So I decided to go to university, and I got myself inscribed in the mechanical engineer. So I had the receipt for paying for studying, and even though they put me in advanced math, but not in the first semester but in the second semester, I wasn't sure if I want to do that for life. So I told my mom, please give me 6 months. I need to think about this because, it's a lifetime decision. So during those 6 months, I was like waiting for inspiration. And meanwhile, I was searching for spiritual path. I was like in those 6 months, I was baptized like in three different religions. But like 3 months after I took that decision of not going to mechanical engineer, I had a dream. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning. And in the dream, there was an angel. As in the Catholicism religion, they know the angels. So it was dressed like a Catholic angel with the um, wings and all that. And the angel says, Javier, we need, in plural, we need you to go to medical school. And I said, what? So I woke up angry because I was like not in a good mood with the Catholicism, which is the religion of my family. And I woke up. I remember I went to a window. I was living in an apartment building, fourth floor, and as I was approaching to the window, I knew somehow that I need to see a special star, a specific star. So I got to the window, saw the star, and after 5 seconds for me staring at the star started to move and went away. So I said, "Oh my God, this is the sign. The dream is true, and there is something else that needs me for a bigger plan than my own or my life to go to medical school." So that's why I took the decision. Next day, I told my mom, Mom, now I know what I want to do. I want to be a physician. and she laughed at me because um, I was never shown like those um, kind of behavior that you expect from someone to become a doctor. But I was like sure every 6 months, every 6 months, my mom told me, "Are you sure you want to finish this? Are you if you want, you can change career." I said, "No, mom, I'm pretty sure." And the last 2 years of medical school, she said to me that, "Well, you have to finish. I don't care if you don't want it." But it was a calling, a true calling from a dream that has developed my taste for medicine, because I knew that it's not just become a physician, it's because I feel myself part of a bigger plan for the planet. So that's the story of how I decided to go medical school.
That's beautiful. I don't think I've ever heard that from anybody I've interviewed, that it came from a dream, and
Mm.
really creating the space to listen and to sense what was the right thing. I'm kind of curious about you as a child. It sounds like you had a close relationship with your mother. And being that she was a little surprised that you would go to medical school, what were you like as a child? What was your personality like? Like, what did you like in school? Did you like science? Did you like math? Just kind of paint for me the picture of Javier when he's like 7 years old. Who are you?
Um, I was a very, very happy child. My childhood was as it good as it can be here in Colombia. I was born in Barranquilla, which is near to the sea city here in Colombia, north part of the country. I went to a school with high IQ classmates. I'm not saying I was, just there was a special class there, and I love to play. I just remember happy things in my life during my childhood. My mom and my dad was together at that then. They got divorced when I was like 21. But my childhood was very happy playing around, and I do remember I always wanted to understand how things works so I was the child that get the screwdriver and take everything apart to understand why. And I think that relates after in the with the human body. If you truly understand how things really works, you can fix something. Afterwards, well, you know that you cannot fix anyone but themselves. They have to want to do that. But as a physician, always I didn't like to memorize by heart anything in medical school. Just understand. So if you understand something, you can recall it every time you need it. And what else? Well, I just playing. I played a lot. I'm very thankful for my childhood because I was a happy boy. I
Good.
was also what not a talker, that more like introvert, but more because I'm always thinking, analyzing things, and you can learn more from silence than speaking. When you listen, you get more from the world than if you speak because you're giving what you have inside. But if you listen, the silence is more powerful. So I'm not that much a speaker person.
Nice. I'm getting the picture of you now. Did you have siblings growing up, or were you the only child?
I have a sibling, is a little sister. I'm 4 years older than her. Now she lives in United States in Houston. She got married there, has one boy, one girl, and we stay in touch and connected. And well, it happens that in October I went with her to do the Camino de Santiago, my fourth Camino, and her first. because we didn't, since she was like 20 years old, we didn't had the time to connect. So we gave each other this journey, the Camino de Santiago, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow, what a gift. And that would allow you to really go deep quickly after not seeing each other for so
Well,
long.
catching up like a express crash course of each other.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Mm,
Well, I'm just curious. So the image I have of you is a happy, content boy who thinks deeply and who wants to understand, right? So very contemplative, reflective, thoughtful. You were probably very considerate, polite, and just having a way in the world. So I'm curious. So when we fast forward to medical school, and you start to see that medical school is done in a certain way and maybe not as much science. There's science, but maybe not in the mechanical engineering way of
mm.
understanding the body. Did you ever have a feeling of that you were thinking in medical school, like, this is not what you were thinking it would be? Or did you want to have a different experience of medicine?
Well, when you are going through medical school, everything is new for you. So I was thinking that that was the way, that was the real way. I mean, the truth about of medicine. After I finished medical school, I went to residency. So I did a internal medicine residency, understanding a little bit more about how to heal, and I wanted to like be like the physician that can take care of the patient in the clinic, in the ER, in the ICU, in every ecosystem that the patient has to go. But after I finished internal medicine residency, I did have like a sorrow. I don't remember if it is called that feeling, but I was like deeply sad of what I could do. Um, because just prescribing medication is just too slow in the process, not affecting or reversing the process. I wanted to be like a, a mindful physician who has a specific solution for a specific patients, not specific problems. So I started looking online, and I got bumped into the pharmacogenomics in internal medicine. So I can like personalize the prescription, and the pharmacogenomics. I found functional medicine. Then I went to from pharmacogenomics to functional medicine and said, well, this is what I needed to understand how things work. And one of the things, and it's related with this podcast or this space, is it involves spirituality and the connection between science, the body, and the energy that manage everything, and the universe has to do everything with it, with the person. And little by little, when like I knew where to look for information, and little by little, well, you have heard what how are my talks, and the connection of functional medicine, quantum biology, biology, and everything's the same. Everything's the universe within us.
So you woke up to functional medicine when you were still in medical school, or was it you said you did your residency and it sounded like it came in as you started to look into pharmacogenomics and how did you
Mhm.
I'm just curious how you actually stumbled across functional medicine. How did you see that? Was it on a website? Was it in a
Uh,
publication?
No, I was here in Colombia in a internal medicine congress, the national congress here, and I saw a booth about a company that
Uh,
offered this kind of test, the pharmacogenomic test. So I went into the booth, start talking to the guy or the president of the company, Well, it was like a startup here, and he said, "Well, there is not. You're the first internal medicine, especially that is interested in this. Why are you interested in this?" So I said, "Well, I want to go further and go deeper in what I can do for my patients." And was this guy? He made two decisions. One, he became he he became well, I became partner in that company, so I can be the medical phase for promoting the test. And this guy knew the Institute for Functional Medicine. He went to an AFNCP in 2009, and
Okay.
he said you have to go and do the functional medicine training. So my AFNCP was in Atlanta 2010, February 2010. And because of this person, I knew about functional medicine.
I see. Okay. So it was pretty much since 2009, 2010.
Yes.
Interesting. So here we are, almost 2026. And I'm curious how you have brought together a lot of these concepts, like you mentioned, quantum biology. I feel like when I talk with you or when I listen to your talks, I almost feel like you're bringing physics into biology
Hmm.
and seeing that as a new level of medicine. So, how do you bring in these emerging concepts, which are very pioneering? They're very emerging. I would say that traditional medical practice has no idea of some of these things, whether it's circadian rhythm and looking at its effects. So, how do you do this? Because this is so cutting edge. So, how are you able to do that in your practice?
Well, it started asking questions to myself of a lot of why. Um, why, if we come from the sun, we are made of the same atoms. Why do we function according to medicine differently? And we are not. We are like one thing. The same laws of physics that rules the universe, rules the planet, how they move, how as a star produce energy is the same laws that rule us. So during my high school, I was very passionate also about physics and chemistry, and just reading about this, reading about spirituality. The more I was deep in several spiritual pathway, I realized that the powers that us human have we have are physics, mere physics. So if we can understand at that level, quantum level, physics, you can understand the human body and the human spirit, because I think there in that microscopic level, atomic level or subatomic level, I think that's where the connection is between the mind, the body, and the spirit.
I've never heard it talked about like that. That's really beautiful. It's kind of like it's the connector, physics being the connector between the body and the non-physical, like the spirit. Well, just to kind of give context, how do you define spirituality? So I could tell that you have these spiritual interests, but
Mhm.
I think everybody defines it differently. So what is it for you specifically? It sounds like it's maybe not Catholicism, but it's,
No.
or maybe it is. Maybe it's part of that now.
Well, uh, for me, spirituality, I understand that I am a spiritual being living a physical body experience. So I understand that the universe is a whole thing, is all connected. The mighty, well, I call it the mighty architect of the universe. he knows everything, but he hasn't experienced everything. So as there is the need for experience to fully understand itself, he decided to create beings that are able to experience everything, the good and the bad. So you have like I feel like everyone has a mission here on Earth. I do believe there is no way we are the only ones in the universe. But I think everyone here on Earth has a mission of experimenting things, good things, not that that good things also, for accumulating experience and become like a higher um, conscience. So the more you experience through lives, the closer you get to the need of not of being like reunited with God, if you
Mm.
want to call it there. So when I see or I understand the spirituality in I need to experience things, I stop um, treating myself bad about my weaknesses, my bad experiences in life, or that now I call it the learning experiences in my life. I understand why some people is in your life, why you get across with some people for good or for bad, but always for learning. So from that perspective, there is no suffering. You choose to suffer. You choose because you need to go through experience because that's what's your plan of being here on earth. Just experience yourself and the others. But that experience cannot be achieved in a cave, in a mountain, away from people. You need people. You need other human beings to offer you the the right environment for you to learn what you have to learn. And and at the same time, you're a teacher for other people with your weaknesses mostly, but also with the good things in your spirit. All, for example, if someone need to experience love in a special way, in your way, well, you are the teacher, but also if they need to experience um, pain, well, always do you have someone near to let you uh, live that experience. So from that, I know now that there is no true religion. Every religion, if you go to the source, they always speak the same. So they're the same path, but with a different way of getting there. The thing is, not all the religions lets you to get access to the original source of the knowledge that was founded. And every religion, if there is a human being involved in the passing of the knowledge, it get like disturbed or uh, n- gets away from the original message. So for me, there is no religion. It's just mm, trying to understand why you're living, what you're living, and trying to not run away from it, just to go through it. So you learn, and after you learn, what you do have to suffer more anymore.
Yeah, I also subscribe to this idea of Earth as a school. Like
Mm.
we're learning constantly, right? And learning and growing. So when we've done all of that learning and growing, what do you think happens when we die?
Um, I think that if you have more to learn, you reincarnate. You if there is more, even if you have to leave the other side of the coin. For example, if this life you were raped, so you learn how is that. You know that there is nothing good about it. But if you haven't experience the other side, you in the next life, well, yeah, you become the other part. But usually, I th- right now, as our society has evolved, and there's no killing as in the past, and bad things happening everywhere. This still happens, but we are now, for example, we don't allow hanging people as in a couple hundred years ago it was allowed. I think it's because those human experience what is to be hanged, what is to hang someone, what is to see someone to die that way. So those people, when they died, they didn't need it to learn more from that situation anymore. So you become, or you are born in a different situation for learning different things. So coming back to the question, I think we have to reincarnate a lot because there is a lot to learn. So life for me doesn't end here. Um, there is need for more wisdom to be acquired by your spirit, and that only is possible by experience life.
Nicely said. So I'm going to ask you a question that I've never asked anybody, but I feel like it's a Javier kind of question. Physics. Let's take principles of physics now into what you just talked about, the
Mhm.
afterlife, experiences, wisdom. If we take time in this equation, and being that you're very in touch with circadian rhythm, light, dark, there is also this idea in spirituality that there is timelessness and that nothing is happening in stages or phases, that it's all happening simultaneously.
Mhm.
So I'd like to get your take on that. And
Mm.
if you believe that that is true, how do you understand that intellectually in this dimension where everything is time bound? So it's kind of a big question, but I hear about parallel lives, timelessness, like you say past lives or we reincarnate. Some people would say we're already in multiple
Yes,
incarnations. So I'm curious just to get I'm just tossing that out there to you with
you're right.
curiosity.
It's a way to explain things for some people like can understand that because they think linearly in matter of time. But I also agree with you in that there is no linear time. We are experiencing everything at once, like the movie. Did you see that movie?
Which one?
Everything.
Interstellar?
No, everything all at once, and I don't remember the name in English.
Oh, I've heard of that. I need to see that.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I'm going to
need
make
to
a note
say
of
it
it.
because
Yeah.
it explains a lot of this. But time and distance, which is space, and velocity has to do with everything. I mean, um, let's put it this way. Imagine this: if there is a primordial particle, I mean, protons, think about neutrons, protons, and electrons. If there is an electron which is made in from the same matter as a proton and an electron, but vibrating different, that is moving as fast, so fast that can be almost everywhere at the same time. So fast that it can exchange between you, Diana, the electron that is in your hair right now, and the next, well, at the same time is in me. So we are all connected. We are the same. That particle is experiencing life through you. And when that particle is in me, is experiencing life through me. So that's why they say we are all connected. And but you have to understand that we have to take out time out of the equation because, yeah, and the only thing that can take time out of the equation is velocity. is speed. So, what's relativity explains this better. But yes, time doesn't exist. It's a construct of our minds to so we can like be here and explain anything. And with if we bring that to the equation, there is no reincarnation because we are living everything at the same time. But we have to experience everything. I have to experience what is to be a beautiful redhead, I have to experience what is to be a Colombian physician with beer. So, but we are connected. We're the same particle moving faster than we can imagine.
I like that you brought in velocity. That even helps me to understand that better, right? Because we can't conceptualize the speed and the time because we are made in such a way to not be able to have that perception in this time and space reality, it seems. So let me ask you a metaphorical, symbolic, and also a spiritual question. Again, based in time. You are also very intrigued with circadian rhythm. And
Mhm.
one thing that just came to me as you were talking is how so many people on this planet at this time, 2026, have a distortion of time. They have circadian syndrome. They have chronobiological disease. They
Mhm.
have artificial light at night. They are living by electricity. What is happening spiritually, cosmically, that we have fallen out of alignment with time on this planet?
Well, from my point of view, as a society, we have to so 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 we can like unlock the next level of learning. We have to go through a discovery of technology, a series of discovering in technology, which is we first worked with candles, then now our LED lights. That's necessary for us as a society to suffer experiencing that science has to be for the benefits of the planet where we are at, um, until that certain point. Some books that I've read and some of the um, knowledge that has I have been like exposed to says that we as a human beings, as a society, as a connected consciousness, there will be a point that the technology either will kill us or let us to advance and evolve to the next spiritual playground, even here on earth. But there is the need of suffering or experiencing technology for so we can learn. So, if, for example, if some alien technology came magically to Earth, we are not allowed to. Well, it will be bad for us because even if it's good or better good for us, um, we are like avoiding evolving through experience of the bad things about developing technology. So I see it that way. I think it's an opportunity to learn, and you don't learn if you don't suffer or experience that the bad side of science. So we have to live through it.
So we're experiencing and learning through technology and like almost abusing it, like too much technology in the way of light, not being in darkness, not being in nature's rhythms, things like that. Is that what you're
Yes,
alluding
not
to?
connected and not going with or dancing with physics, or the right physics. That's our learning objective with technology. When you get disconnected from nature, you suffer. Your body gets unaligned. Um, it start to suffer the circadian diseases related, and everything, the sleep, everything, that when we are not honoring our nature, our physical and human nature, the body start like trying to adapt, but at the end is a bad adaptation that brings diseases to us.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, can we have both? Can we have our cake and eat it too? Can we have technology and nature? Because there seem to be some people who are averse to technology, who don't want AI, who don't want like the latest advances. Then you have just the opposite. You have people who are just soaking up all of the technology and leaving behind nature. So, can you truly have them both?
I think we will. Yes, if we don't die. I mean, if we don't destroy the planet. But I think that yes, we are going to be one with technology. I think technology will take away some works that we don't, as human, need to do. I think, for example, I'm building now a new home for me, and I have these full spectrum circadian lamps that is, each one is $600. But they're like fully spectrum, and they change color through the day. So even though if I'm indoors working all day, my body doesn't get unaligned with the environment. Um, I think that's an example of how we can, as a society, diminish the impact of technology. And the same technology that generated LED light is the same technology that can emulate nature, and allowed us to adapt to whatever is the need of the humankind.
I like that. So basically, we can find a way to bring them together. I think we're kind of in that process. It feels like we're in a transition state right now of moving into that next phase.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious too. I want to ask you about darkness. I know you do retreats with people and you do a number of different modalities. And you've mentioned full spectrum light, talking about the lights in your new home, which sounds great, by the way. Why do you think humanity at where we are right now, what is your take on darkness? And why is it that we have such difficulty connecting to being in darkness? What is that about? Do you have any ideas?
Well, as animals, we are attracted to light, and our way of evolving in this planet sadly relates darkness with danger, because during the night we were a better prey than during the day. So we learned that I have to be in the dark, so I don't be discovered by another predator animal, and that was imprinted in our mind. So we always try to be during the day. That's why we create candles, fire, now bulbs, and then lights, LED lights, and all that. But it's a way of us as human beings to feel more secure. But it's a false security, because we are not honoring um, that. But I think that comes from the sense of danger. In the dark or during the night, we were more fragile, or easily be eaten.
Yeah.
Um, and it's difficult for as a society to get away from that, and that's why now people are paying for darkness retreats, because our brains, our thalamus, hypothalamus, and pineal gland are intoxicated with excess of light during the night, blocking the natural rhythm that should be in for us. It is not enough for example, to cover your eyes during with a iPad or something, um, because we have light sensors in the skin. So even though you don't see the light during the night, if there is a little light, or for example, if your spouse is watching TV while you're having the iPad, it's your body is sensing that. So we need complete dark during the night so we can relate to the planet and connect to the planet and the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really well said that it goes back to ancestral programming. That there's and you even think of children, how children are afraid of the dark usually,
Hmm.
right? The unknown, whatever is there, but we need it, right? We need it just like we need the light. So I'm curious, I want to connect now what you said about spirituality into working with patients. How do you help people to have a more, I would say, a healthy spiritual life and existence? You know, in functional medicine, spirituality is part of the matrix, yet
Hmm.
I don't know how many physicians actually talk and embrace and hold space for their patients to explore that. So I'm curious if you are able to in the context of your clinical practice.
Well, I ask usually two questions to my patients. One has to be with the purpose of their lives, the purpose of the why they are sick. They are sick. So if they understand that, or I always ask that question because I think when you help the patient to realize that that has a purpose, the sickness has a purpose to learn something, they can um, I'm sorry, they can heal the
Mhm,
disease they
mhm.
have.
Yep.
But if I can help them to connect for the purpose in life, the energy within the patient is more powerful to overcome this disease when they know why they are doing that. That's one question. And the other question I do is, or try to figure out myself for them is this person um has this person suffer enough with this disease? Not because it changes my willingness of helping the patient, but it I have learned that people, when they are not done and they are not fed up with the disease, the energy they need will be more. I mean, they will um, hesitate more for lifestyle changes when, because as connecting with the version of spirituality as a need for experiencing things in life. Well, disease is one way of experience suffering, or has a wisdom out of disease. And if the patient is hasn't suffered enough, they will they'll need to suffer more. And um and that is the kind of patient that you say, well, you have to eat like this, you have to do this, and these changes, and they go back like in 1 2 years and saying, now I had enough, now I want to change. Back then what you told me was like too hard for me. Now that I have suffered enough, I don't want to suffer more, so I have the decision in myself to do those changes. So that's what the for me is the most impactful things I can do for my patients, because I cannot teach my way of thinking, my way of living spirituality to anyone. I mean, I think that's intrusive. But I do can, as that's the way I think that you live, you go through life for experiencing emotions and all that. So when I tell the patients to, have you suffered enough, or are you ready to change? Uh, they look for spirituality by themselves. They need to go for finding a source in any language of spirituality, call it religion or any other way to get to the source. So I don't like to speak about religion with them. Just, have you found your purpose in life? Are you done suffering? Then it's I'm here.
I've never heard it contextualized like that, like when they are ready to stop experiencing a disease. Are they ready to stop suffering? So they could be utilizing that condition for a certain life experience. So I really like the reframe that you put on disease, that it is giving us something to experience and it's about the timing of when we are finished. I feel like
Mhm.
that's a really beautiful symbolic message about disease and about wellness and where people are at. So it moves people away from being judgmental and into more compassion for that person's experience.
Yes. Everyone has an experience. We have as a physicians or as a healers to respect the journey of every patient. They don't, no one's want to suffer, but the decision they have made you, they're suffering. That's why they're in front of you. Um, you have to be respectful with their journey.
So does that mean that you believe in free will versus a predestined experience, that we have choices?
That's that's a tough question because I see free will that as a way of stop suffering. You have the free will of continuing suffering or just learning. But at the end, if you are becoming one with God, it means that one day you did the right choices. So there is no bad. Well, at the end, there is no option for you to not going to God. So from that point of view, there is no choice, there is no free will. But for getting there, you have to do the choices. Otherwise, you're like reliving things till you learn. So it's a tough question. I don't have the answer for that. I think yes, I see myself as the master of my life. I see myself that I'm trying to do the right choices, and if I not, I have to keep on suffering and not learning from what I need to learn.
Hi, everyone. We are back. I know this is a little bit unusual. This has never happened before in any of the podcasts that I've been doing, but we had a little bit of a glitch where I lost Javier's signal about 10 minutes before we closed the podcast. So he was gracious enough to extend some time today, the next day, to follow on with the two questions that we addressed during those 10 minutes. So we were just talking about, you never know why those things happen, but if everything has a reason, then we just trust that there's we needed to say something differently, so or
Mhm.
give different information, who knows? But Javier, thanks for being just very expansive with your time and coming back.
Well, I'm very glad to be here again.
So, the question that I wanted to ask you, we had two final questions, and one of them was around longevity, that
Hmm.
there's a huge focus on longevity. You and I were just at a longevity fest, and I'm kind of curious what your spiritual take is on this quest that human beings now seem to have for immortality or at least extending their lifespan.
Well, I think right now the science can help a human being easily go until 120, 140. But I was saying yesterday, I think that the amount of time you have to spend here on Earth is related with your mission and your Purpose. So, and I remember I said thousands of years ago. human beings according to the Bible, last 900 or 1,000 years. And from there to now, the lifespan has been shortened till what do we do or what we can have right now. But I think that is because if a human being pass, let's say a number 200 years, maybe that time the purpose was completed, and afterwards, maybe the mind is corrupted. I mean, living that much, having all the experience, and always the need for new things will corrupt the mind. So I think 140 should be enough. For some people, maybe 70 is enough. But I will aim to 140. Let's see if we can meet there.
Well, one of the things you said yesterday was that you have a mission to make sure that functional medicine is spread throughout the planet, and you don't want to really leave until you fulfilled that mission.
Yes, that's my purpose. That is what it gives me, like primordial energy in my life. That's why I wake up every day. Every decision, economic decision, professional decisions, academic decision, every path I follow has to be aligned with that. So I don't know. I'm just 46 right now. Maybe another 40 years should be enough for complete that. But I'm sure I will rest until the functional medicine way of thinking it should be in the primary level of every health system in the world.
That's a great aspiration, very ambitious. And, it's great that so many people are aligned to that goal, so you don't have to do it alone.
Mm. Yes, that's one thing I learned in life is if you want to go far, you have to be with someone. You have to be with people as crazy as you. So I think with this functional medicine paradigm, the best is to be together, physicians, nutritionists, and healthcare professionals, and healthcare passionate people for between everyone can take us there. No, I don't think one person cannot do it by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. My final question to you yesterday was where do you now see yourself with your own spiritual growth? Because you've read a lot of books, you've had a lot of experiences, you're a seasoned physician who is well on your way to achieving and working through your purpose. So, what is a day in the life like for Javier in terms of your own spiritual personal growth? What are you involved with now?
Well, I'm not looking for new religions or new philosophies for lives right now. I'm just trying to everything I have learned to apply it as near as I can. I mean, with myself, with my wife, with my kids, with everyone that surrounds me, which are the best teacher you can have, the best trainers you can have in this life. So I don't. Well, there is this. I don't know if in English should be the same translation, but I came up with this theory that we are now seeing people addicted to spiritual orgies. People that is wants to be that surrounded with meditating people, or they go to churches or retreats looking for people that thinks alike, but they look outside what should be looked inside. That's why I call spiritual orgies, because it releases dopamine as other kind of addictions. But I think that the energy that myself applies and myself look for is just has to be with a personal journey. I'm done with looking for more information outside. I think that the more I connect with myself, the more information gets into my life, as in a book, as in a person talking, or a course also. But when you focus on yourself instead of following someone or more people, I think you get far. You get more far than going in group.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. It's going on the inside and having that inner journey.
Yeah.
This has been lovely. I have to say, I was reflecting on our conversation yesterday and really thinking about a lot of the things that you said and really almost digesting the wisdom that you shared. And I feel that there were so many profound things that you said. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you sharing that, for us holding space together in this. And I want other people to be able to find you because I kind of feel like my connection with you has been fairly recent. And so it's just great to have this meeting of our minds. And I want people to know about your book, which is, a doctor of your dreams. I said
Mhm.
the medicine of your dreams, but it's the physician of your dreams.
Mhm.
So you mentioned Instagram. So did you want to give us the handle and any other information that you'd like people to find you by?
Well, the main channel of communication for me is on Instagram. Is at Médico Funcional
Yep.
in Spanish, like a functional physician, but it's Médico Funcional. You can find me there, and everything I do, my retreats, I do psilocybin retreats, biohacking retreats, teaching, the Academy of Functional Medicine, the programs with IFM, everything I posted there. So if you want to be in contact, that's the way.
All right. Everybody will find you. Thanks, Javier. Really appreciate you coming back on.
Thank you, Danny. I love it.